How's it going, everyone? You know who it is. It's Soul Tigress with a Lotto and bonus messages video. So let's get started to see who goes in what order for this time around for the stories. So let's see who our number one is. Who's going to be our number one this time around? This time around, it's going to be Aquarius. Woo-wee! Okay, Aquarius. I see you at the very front of the bus, driving the bus, all that good stuff. Followed by Taurus. Did I say Taurus? Excuse me. Followed by the Tower. And the Tower represents Aries. Alright, so Aquarius is number one. Aries is number two. Who is going to be our number three? Number three is going to be our Two of Cups energy, which is our cardinal water energy. And that's going to be Cancerian in the number three spot. All right, who's going to take the number four? Oh, here we go. So, number four, Five of Cups. Five of Cups, that's going to be our fixed water energy, which is going to be represented by Scorpio at number four. We have the Knight of Cups, so we're going to go ahead and give that to Pisces right away at number five. And then we have the Knight of Wands. For Leo and Saggy, that's too vague. I'm going to need something a little bit more their card, so to say. And then I have Seven of Cups. We have all the water signs out. Water signs. Nice try, though. Let's see who else needs to come out. Page of Coins. That's going to be too vague for my earth signs there. Let's see who else needs to come out. Can we get a earth sign to come out right now? Let's see. Queen of Wands. Again, too vague for the fire signs. Need something a little bit more distinct when it comes to the fire sign energy. Four of Cups, some more water energy. Seven of Coins. Here we go. That's going to be some fixed energy right there. Fixed earth sign. We're going to put that number 6 harmonious number for Taurus, followed by Libra, the Justice card, and lucky number 7. Let's see. Where's Capricorn? Where's Virgo? Where's Leo? Where's Sag? And where's Gemini? Holy moly, water signs. I see you. I hear you. I feel you. Don't forget, you are important. All right, Two of Swords. Two of Swords, that's cardinal energy. Libra, you are already here. Let's see, who's this? Knight of Swords. Gemini is the only one left, so we will give that to Gemini for that infinite number 8. Libra 7, Gemini 8. Let's see who else. Three of Swords. So air signs, you're already out. Alright, so Knight of Coins, that's too vague for Capricorn and Virgo. And then I have the King of Cups. The water signs are very persistent this time, aren't they? Alright, Judgment card represents more than one. We're not going to use that one. Alright, Eight of Cups. Still water signs. And just defeated a little bit more. Some more water signs right there with the moon. Let's see. Come on. We're looking for Leo, Sag, and Capricorn and Virgo. Alright, so we have the Six of Cups, more water energy, and then I have the Ace of Coins. That's too vague. Too vague between Capricorn and Virgo. Let's see, is this one coming out? Page Page of Cups. Oh my goodness. Oh, ho, ho. Make sure to do your breathing exercises, taking your time, being patient with things in life. Just know that. All right, so this is a big reconfirming energy right here with the Seven of Wands, which is going to be fixed fire energy, and with the Sun. So we got a double Leo right here at the number 9 spot. Ooh-wee. All right, Universe card doesn't represent anybody. We have the Queen of Swords, which all the air signs are already out. Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Virgo. That's who we're looking for. Which I have the 8 of Coins and the 8 of Coins and the Queen of Coins. Your 8 of Coins is going to be your mutable energy, and that's going to be our Virgo right here. So Virgo will go 10, and then we'll take the Queen of Coins for Capricorn in the 11th spot, leaving Sagittarius to hold down number 12. All right, so for number 1 is Aquarius, number 2 is Aries, number 3 is Cancer, 4 Scorpio, 5 is Pisces, 6 is Taurus, 7 is Libra, 8 is Gemini, 9 is Leo, 10 is Virgo, 11 is Capricorn, and number 12 is Sagittarius. Y'all ever seen a Sagittarius and a Capricorn get together? Oh, it's gonna be a fun time in the back of the bus right there. Y'all be good. Don't get into too much mischief. Get the popcorn ready for everyone. And let's have some fun this time around. All right, so let's go ahead into the bonus messages with the Talisman Oracle. Remember, the Talisman Oracle I always perceive as there's always a guided eye, a universal, a divine eye that's kind of having a look out on things for us. That's, you know, is the thing that's also watching our back. A lot of times we feel like when we go through the tests and trials of life, trying to get over these hurdles, get up these mountains, you know, make it through certain parts of our journey, we could definitely feel alone at times, especially when people aren't understanding us. So just know that you do have a divinely guided eye that is watching over your journey as well. So let's go ahead and start off with, let's take it to the water signs. Usually water signs always end up last. It's nothing against the water signs. I just go 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I usually go. But we're going to work it backwards this time, because the water signs were just so persistent with all their cards coming out. So what is it? What is it, ancestor, spirit guides, that needs to come out for the water signs? Leadership. Taking lead in a lot of different areas of your life. Seeing how your passion has brought you to this point. Letting go of the things that are holding you back. It could be opinions of others, because we do have the water sign here, which is Cancerian, which is gonna represent some emotions here. We have a lot of earthly energy, I feel like, with this stag here. Earthly energy also with this tiger here. With the stag, with the tiger, one thing about these two individual animals is that they have a very vast territory. It's a very big territory, one that covers miles upon miles upon miles. All right, tigers aren't pack animals. They're generally on their own unless they're raising their cubs, raising a family. But generally, they're doing life a lot of times in solitude on their own. And the thing is, I feel like what you've been tending to in your life has been very passionately driven. Where you're finding conflicts has to do with a specific part of your journey that it's been you grinding towards. So this could be somebody who's been grinding for spiritual growth, to change things, to help their future out. This could have been somebody who's also been grinding and climbing the different ladders since they've started even working in their lifetime. And that takes many years. It could even take decades for people to climb the different ladders to get to the positions that they want to be in. The whole thing is you are a leader here. You are a leader. Now it's opening up to why you are this leader. Why did you pursue these type of positions? Why are you pursuing this type of growth? Why are you pursuing what you're pursuing? And everything that causes you to have doubt for it, it's time to let it go. It's time for it to be like water on a duck's back and just let it roll off. Really filling yourself out for this season. Who you are, the mountains that you've climbed, the vast terrains that you have walked in life when it comes to dealing with different situations, whether it's with family, whether it's friends, work, or just even different places that we have been. So really fill out your journey this time around, water signs. Fill out how you have been a leader and leading a direction that was very important for you. There was something here, and I'm hearing trailblazer. There's something here that you were doing that maybe others weren't doing around you. It could have been in your family, it could have been your friend circle, it could have been even just in your community. But there's something here that does set you apart from others. Tigers are really set apart from a lot of other big cats. When you look at a tiger, you can tell it's a tiger. You're not going to mistake it for anything else. So it's big, it takes care of business, and you don't want to be on the bad side. You don't want to be on the bad side of that. So really, really, really stepping into this personal power this time around. And not doing it from, say, the bad ego where we're trying to resist restrictions and stuff like that, going with the good ego, finding that little bumps in the roads are not as serious as what we want to take it with the bad ego, but actually could be things that, 5-10 years from now, we're really gonna laugh at. All right, so this is going to conclude it for your bonus message, water signs. Thank you so much for hanging out. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming on in and hanging out and helping getting all the signs in which order and with this bonus message. All right, so for the earth signs. Ooh. So earth signs, you're kind of struggling here. Could be struggling trying to stay in the immediate moment. That could be a really big thing. Could be a lot of wanting to escape what's happened, what's happening. Maybe escaping the fact that we're not at where we're at. And it could be done with different things. Definitely when I just tapped into your energy, what I can feel is like there's a barrier. Now this barrier could be brought on from different kind of coping mechanisms. It could be trying to run from things and just being a workaholic to escape things. Again, it could be with different coping mechanisms, but there's something here in a sense that you kind of want to numb yourself to. I get the feeling. And it has to do with the first card that came out was we're not feeling very balanced. There's a big extreme that's happening in our emotions that's kind of like just what I hear is tearing the earth sign apart. Tearing the earth sign apart, and something that we're not seeing here is banish a curse. So there's definitely a earth sign here, friend, an earth friend, who's feeling like life has it out for them. In a sense, life is not going to give them what they're looking for, or what they truly want isn't possible in this lifetime, again, because this is all life's going to give them. And what we have is somebody who, what I hear, is not feeling genuine, who's not feeling authentic, who's not feeling themselves. They're not feeling themselves. What I hear with this resilience is they're beating themselves up. They really look at themselves for being weak. And then I have finding love here in reverse as well. They look at themselves really weak. It could be because of the past partnerships, past relationships that have happened. Now the only thing that comes out and pretty much upright is protection. So with protection, looking over all of this, what this earth sign doesn't understand is the moves that you've made in the past was you subconsciously trying to protect yourself. Now, I hesitate to say subconsciously because this isn't really a higher evolvement of self that did this. This is a subconscious part of self that has to deal with, and what I'm hearing is a wounded child energy. So there's something here that could have been happening for generations. It could have been something that you grew up around as well. This tends to happen with a lot of Taurus energy in particular, and Capricorn energy. I'm always picking up stuff in Capricorn energy as well. Not to leave Virgo out, not to leave y'all out, but sometimes you're not too worried, Virgo. At times you are worried about others, but you're worried about others and making sure that the dream is coming true, what you work hard for, what you're dedicated to. But a lot of times with Taurus and Capricorn, there's something directly in the past that has a block up for them, or they've reached this plateau that's a never-ending plateau, and they don't see that there is another trail, but that trail requires them to go up another hill for them to surpass this lesson. And they just kind of stick with this plateau. And I've said this before in Taurus's energy, where it just feels like nothing's there. Nothing's going to be around them if they made different moves. There's a big fear of this trying to do something new, but still getting the same thing that they got right now, and that's basically nothing. That's what I get. I got somebody here who feels very weak. Somebody here who beats themselves up because of past stuff that's happened. They don't understand, again, that they were making choices. It wasn't their... So what's happening is the reason why somebody's even looking back at this like this is because they're a little bit more evolved. But they're not giving themselves a little bit of grace to understand that the way that they were protecting themselves with the choices that they were making, it was the only thing that they knew to do at that time for protection. Sometimes we guard ourselves so much because we're afraid to be vulnerable. Because if we're vulnerable, that means somebody can hurt us. And if you have a person here who's been really hurt by somebody in the past, And I'm getting it could be 1 to 3 others, and one of these others has to do with a family member in particular. Then again, you've closed yourself off, again trying to protect yourself. What it is you want to stay 10 steps ahead of any pain that could come in. If you could sit here and if you could have a guarantee that something would work out to the way that you would want it, you would be the first one to jump. But because you don't have that guarantee, again, you rely on you blocking yourself off. Where that is troubling you is because you don't know how to look back on it. What you look back at, everything is somehow you deserve this. You're cursed. You're never going to get anything better because it's not written for you in this lifetime type of energy. Because of whatever failures that you deem in the past here, you feel weak. You feel weak. And you felt like there was something. There's something that either got away or it's something that you can never have. And it's just something that goes around in the mind. It goes around in the feelings. And honestly, it is the very thing that's taking away from your spiritual energy. And I don't think the guides put this out as like just to give you some kind of bonus message as into everything's going to be wonderful type of thing. This gets brought out because of the energy of the new moon. The new moon in Gemini talks about our communication. It also talks about how we think. And a lot of times we think communication just comes down to how we talk with others or how others talk with us. The biggest thing around communication is how we communicate with ourselves. So sitting here every day beating yourself up for mistakes is the very thing that's taking away from you. But it's also the thing that's reconfirming that you are cursed supposedly, and that you don't deserve what you really want, and that you are not the greatest individual. The whole thing is you have to wipe that board clean, and you have to start with something different. If you want to go on this other trail to get over this mental hurdle, this emotional hurdle, again, it has to be done one step at a time. You're already really good at beating yourself up. Now, can we change it up to where you're really good at being proud of yourself? Can we change it up to where you get really, really good at being patient with yourself? Because we're all human. We all make mistakes. Have I lost out on some opportunities before? Yes. Yes, because I wanted to protect myself from things that I thought would hurt me. I kind of still do it in a sense. Everyone does it. But your biggest hurdle here, if you want to believe that this life has more in store for you, is you have to do something different. And that's how you talk to yourself, how you feel about things. And again, it starts with one step at a time. If there's a lot that's really going on, journaling is a big one. Start to dump out this cup, this emotional cup that is overly full. It's overly full with emotions from the past, emotions that are part of the future fears, and the emotions of where we felt like we are failing, in this present moment. It's time to start dumping it out and time to start refilling it with something different. Again, that takes time. You can go ahead and also get support for this. Therapy, seeing a psychologist, a counselor, a mentor, but somebody, something, a way for you to start dumping out these feelings, because they're just festering in here and it's really kind of rooted against you. You need to be your own number one fan on your team, mistakes and all. There's a reason why you're going through this, and there's something here you need to learn about yourself. And a lot of times the greatest lessons that we learn are brought in by others, those tough moments that we've had with others, moments where we felt like we failed others or others failed us, kind of thing. That's what will help build our resilience, our strength, also help feed that inner light, our inner connection with ourselves. When we can start to feel ourselves, be a part of ourselves, be our number one fans, and we will start to balance how we feel, because we're going to be listening to ourselves more. And when that happens, no curse can have any hold on you. If you want to be cursed, you want to say you're cursed, then you're going to believe it. If you don't want to believe it and you want to forge in a different direction and you want to believe what you deserve, then this will be no more. What is the ultimate protection here? Ultimate protection is also being open to life's tests, trials, and lessons. Until we can be able to open up to this past lesson here, earth signs, you will have protection, but that protection again is blocking everything else out. How can we protect ourselves with a higher knowing, with a higher understanding, instead of protecting ourselves through fear of somebody's gonna hurt us again? All right, earth signs, I hope that helped. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. All right, air signs. Where are my little mental friends at? I'm just playing. As an Aquarius, I can say that though. All right, so what is it for the air signs? What needs to come out? What is the bonus message here? Ooh, this is interesting. All right, so first thing is defense. Some hear about defense. Do we need to be defensive? Are they saying for us not to be so defensive? Healing energy in reverse. So defense, healing energy. Don't let others' misery create restrictions in your life, halting your healing on your journey. Knowing when to be defensive and knowing when to just, again, like water on a duck's back, just letting it roll off. You're gonna have people who are gonna poke you, who are gonna want reactions from you. And I'm wondering if that's what's happening here. Creating some equilibrium, especially in the emotions, especially also, I want to say with how we think of others, how we feel about others as well. It could be a particular person, could be a particular place, or it could be a particular thing. And then we have internal charisma. So the only thing that came out in upright was the equilibrium. You have something on the back of your mind that still needs balancing. And when you can get this balanced, you're going to blossom out. You're going to bloom even more. You're going to grow, not just where everyone sees the growth, but you're going to be growing internally as well. This could be spiritual growth. This could be emotional growth. This could be mental growth as well. But something's going to change also for you on a physical level. I talk about this sometimes. I'm a body worker, as well as a health coach, as well as a Reiki master. And through my experiences in these scopes of practices is when we're stressed, when we're holding on to negative energy, and it could be with a particular person, place, or thing, that will intrude on our health. It could bring on more tension in our body. It could bring on more pain. It could bring on digestional stuff. It just can bring on different things in different areas. For myself as a body worker, I can honestly say that people will carry their stress in different areas of your body. I've had one client who would always have a lot of pain in the shoulders, chest pain and stuff like that. And we were able to find out that their pain was associated with their fear of flying. They hated flying, but they had to at times for their work. And after they would come back from flying, they would have so much tension, they would have more pain and stuff going on in their upper limb as well as their joint, because they had joint issues on one side. And again, what we determined was that during the time that they had to be on the plane, or even as they're preparing to get on the plane, they would start tensing up areas in their body and holding it. People with TMJ dysfunction who wear mouth guards will understand this, because it's a constant tensing, clenching the teeth, holding the teeth, grinding the teeth. That's one of the best examples that I can give you. But that tension that we have is based somewhere else. We are just reflecting it with our body when we start to do those type of things of tensing up things. So there's something here that you could be facing with yourself, with your body. It could be even some irritability with the mind and the emotions. Be careful. Be careful. Let's look at what it is that's troubling you. What it is that has you tensing up. What it is that has you on this defense. Because what I'm getting here is I don't see a threat. I don't see that there's a big threat in your immediate environment, but there's something here that is stressing you out a little. So one thing it could be is I'm being led to see getting out. You need to get out in nature. You need to go for a hike. You need to do some good breathing exercises here. Another thing is if this has to do with something in your environment that's stressing you out, one thing that first responders always tell you is to be aware of your environment. You need to pick your head up. You need to start looking around. You need to start to confirm to yourself that you are safe in your environment. You know what is actually happening in your environment, because this time around, we're going to have a little bit of sticky situation when it comes to our communication and then how we're thinking about things too. Before getting on the defense right away, go ahead and observe what's going on in your environment. Maybe this is why I'm being told to have or to suggest going outside in nature. Because in nature, you're able to pick your head up and you can start to look around and start to observe things. You know, people watching can be fun too. Just make sure you have a good pair of sunglasses. But there's something here that you need to be more observant about before jumping to the stressful conclusion, I would say. So making sure to do your breathing exercises, making sure to ground yourself out. And knowing that you are allowed to protect yourself. A lot of times that stresses out is when we feel like we don't have protection. So it could be something that, you know, you got somebody who's at work who's throwing some attitude. You got somebody at home, could be a sibling, a different kind of family member that's throwing you attitude, that's making you feel a little vulnerable kind of thing. Again, it's observing, looking at that bigger picture and seeing what your truth is, what it is that you're doing, what it is that you want to do, because this comes down to you. All right. So if you can feel solid in here, your environment is going to feel more solid. So let's ground ourselves out in nature. Let's really feel ourselves. It could be even doing a good journal entry. This one, I would honestly sit back and do a journal entry where you observe yourself. What do I mean? Well, sometimes I actually do this when I'm having a hard moment, especially when I am really defensive, is that I will do a specific entry about myself, my accomplishments, my goals, my intentions. And with that, I can see where my trajectory is. I can see myself a little bit more. And it takes me out of this mental stage to where I don't feel as protected. When I can recognize who I am, my accomplishments, my wisdom, then that's me kind of stepping more into my personal power and protecting myself, letting not just myself know, but others know when it comes to certain things that I'm not going to put up with people treating me a certain way, certain work environments treating me a certain way. I am allowed to be protected. And a lot of times you have to teach others how to treat you. And that comes through what you do, what your actions. If you want to go on defense, then you're just matching energies with those people. When you step into your personal power, you're not matching energies because you're not taking things personally from them. You're not keeping their misery company. When you step into your personal power, it's you recognizing who you are and that you're allowed again to protect yourself and that you are allowed to teach others how to treat you and how not to treat you. And it doesn't have to be done through big extremes. And that is a big healing energy in itself. And man, oh man, when you step into that type of personal power where you stand strong in yourself, then that does create a, how do I put it? It's like another spark to your internal charisma. It's like it helps feed the fire, I should say, to your internal charisma. It's gonna make you, it's kind of hard to describe. There isn't a specific word that describes the feeling. It's almost like, how do I put it? You ever went somewhere by yourself and it was okay, but then you showed up with somebody else who was on your team and it was like, hell yeah, you felt more comfortable, you felt more at ease, you were able to have more of a fun time. That's what's going to happen if you're able to show up for yourself, is you show up for yourself and with yourself when it comes to things, and that is reflected when you go into these other environments. You're going to feel more protected, you're going to feel more sure of yourself, you're going to feel more confidence, again, because you have your back and you believe in yourself and you believe in what you're doing. All right, So, air signs, I hope this helps. I hope that all made sense. And don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, spirit guides, as well as divine and universal energy for coming in and helping out with these bonus messages. All right, last but not least, the fire signs. Hold on, give me a second. I'm being told that we need to add the rest of this bunch to this. Then we need a good number 3. Alright. For the fire signs. Look at that. Oh, that was the only one. Alright, so ancestor spirit guys, what is it that needs to come out for the fire signs? Here we are. Ooh, this one I just seen in the shuffle too. So first one that comes out that we're not seeing is cast away negative energy. Don't hold on to it. Holding on to it is like holding on to a double-edged sword. The more you try and hold on to it, to clasp onto it, the more you're going to injure yourself in the long run. Could that be something that's taking away from yourself? Away from the thing that makes you an individual? Let's see what else we have. Navigating. Having a hard time navigating who we are. And if happiness is allowed here. Ooh-wee. I'm almost feeling like you feel like you're kind of just going back and forth from one extreme to another. You get something taken care of and now it's something else. That's what I'm feeling. And I feel like this is wearing on the fire signs. It's wearing on the individual, that individual self person that makes them who they are. Now, I feel like if they wanted to blend in with the crowd, then they would be one of the crowd and it wouldn't be this big of an issue. But I feel like this has to do with you stepping out into who you are, what you've been working for, the things that have been driving you to reach the goals that you've reached so far. But here in the emotions, we don't know how to be progressive with ourselves. In a sense, seeing that all this that we created from our own very magic. What do you mean? Well, at one time, it was just a whisper in your mind. At one time, it was just a vague idea that you had at work so many years ago. At one time, you didn't know. You didn't know about, how do I put this, about what the grind from then would get you to in the now. And I don't think you've taken time to reflect on how much manifesting that took, how much work that took. There's something here that you're really focused on though. And this is totally left side of things. And this is the thing that kind of throws you off, whatever this negativity is about. I'm hearing one more card. All right, one more card. You could be having a lot of tension headaches from this. That could be something here. This was the card that wanted to come out. It's directly on how you feel about something. Now we have the snake here who represents Scorpio energy. And Scorpio is the house of transformations through relationships, the 8th house. That energy speaks upon how we get to our biggest growth through the relationships that we have with different people, places, and or things. But there's something here that you quite haven't let go of yet. I feel like you haven't let go of it yet because you found, what I'm hearing is too many reasons to hang on to it. Too many reasons not to put it to rest. Does this have to do with something that you haven't forgiven yourself of the past? Was there some mistake in particular that you're holding on to? Maybe a mistake that you made when you were an adolescent or even a young adult. That mistake, whatever it is, it was meant. That mistake, what I get, because there's that guiding eye here. That mistake was sent in. And the reason why also I can say it was sent in is we have two suns here. You would have faced it no matter what. Whatever that mistake is, it would have came about from one extreme to another. It had nothing to do with the timing. In a sense, I mean, either you would have been ready then, or it would have still came about now. There was no getting away from this mistake. Just know that this mistake was meant to be here so that you can grow, so that you can learn the truth to something, so that there is something in your mind that you can finally put to rest and you can let go. And again, that's a part of you getting more in touch with yourself, more in touch with believing in what you're creating in particular, because there's still a lot of manifesting that you're doing. There's still a lot of things that you want to go to. But there's something here, again, that holds you back from a simple mistake. Again, this mistake was meant to teach you. It's actually meant to help you manifest more when it comes to your future and where you go. Because with this navigation, this fish, this ocean, you still got a lot to go. I just think about how big the ocean is and how there's many oceans, many seas. And this is something that you got to be honest with yourself. I see this is something that needs to be cleansed out. It's something that healing needs to happen, but it's almost like a redirecting as well. One of the things that I do for positive affirmations is I will, just for today, forgive myself for my mistakes, because making mistakes is a part of being human. You wouldn't have known better if you didn't make the mistake. Again, they're meant to help you grow. So, fire signs, don't harbor on your mistakes. Even if you're still making mistakes now. A lot of times when we make a mistake, we get upset, we get embarrassed, and then we hold on to it. And then we bring that out in different irritants. We'll be really irritated, there we go, with situations that remind us of it. And people won't understand where we're coming from with our irritation, again, because they didn't live it. So how can you be more gracious, more patient when it comes to your communication, especially when you feel like something is going to remind you of a past mistake? When that happens, do not coil around it. That is the time for you to uncoil from it and to open up. It's okay to go back and say, sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess up your moment. I'm sorry. I just, that wasn't right. I was just seeing it from this view. It's okay to say sorry. You're not weak for saying sorry at times. And it doesn't make you any less of a person for making mistakes or even apologizing for mistakes. If anything, it helps take a weight off of your shoulders a little bit, because it's not a regret that you're going to have in the future to wear. All right, so this is going to conclude it. Thank you so much, fire signs, for waiting to be the last ones. Don't forget to thank your angels, ancestors, and spirit guides for coming in and helping out with the lottery and bonus messages. And as always, I hope that you have a most wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your day.